and welcome back to the She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, Season 2, Episode 22, Shooting Straight to the Olympics. Today's episode will be covering the theme of shooting sports. My name is Regina Ruiz Ordonez. I'm from the Canadian University Shooting Federation. And joining me today are Casey Gavinchuk from Lady Guns and Kelly Melanson from Maple Seed Project, Sunfire Radio, and CCFR Women's Program. Unfortunately, we're missing our fourth person, Deneen, but she'll be back on a regular time in December. Promise that. And now I'd like to start by thanking our sponsors, Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, positively shaping the future of the outdoors. Every cent donated by rounding up at checkout goes towards helping Canadian organizations just like ours. Savage Arms, home to the Stevens single-shot rifles and shotguns. Beretta, family-owned and operated since 1526. Vortex, the best in optics, and Canada First Ammo. If you have any questions or comments throughout the show, make sure to leave them in the chat box below. Doing so will automatically enter you in the draw for today's giveaways. Today we have a She Shoots t-shirt, CSI prize pack, and a Canada First Ammo prize pack. So since Deneen's not here today, I will be reading the bio for our guest today.
Yay!
So joining us today, we have Shannon Westlake. She began shooting at the age of 12 after joining Army Cadets. She started shooting air rifle and small bore, competed at a local, provincial, and national cadet championships. In 2001 and 2002, Shannon had the opportunity to represent Canada after earning a spot in the Cadet National Rifle team in the Imperial Meeting fullbore matches held in Bisley, England. Hope I pronounced that properly.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon loved shooting so much that she purchased her first full-bore rifle not long after leaving the cadet program. She competed at the Dominion of Canada Rifle Association national matches on several occasions, winning multiple short-range and mid-range matches. She also represented Canada in Bisley, England, at the NRA Imperial matches and was a member of the Canadian team at 2 World Long Range Championships in Brisbane, Australia, and Camp Perry, Ohio, USA. And for full bore, during the winter, Shannon began shooting both competition small bore rifle and Olympic air rifle shooting. She has represented Canada in these disciplines at multiple CISM military championships, World Cups, and Pan American Games. In 2023, Shannon won the Canadian Small Bore Prone Championship for the second year in a row by breaking the Canadian record with a score of 628.4. She also won the Canadian Women's Air Rifle Championship and the Canadian Women's 3-Position Championship. In October 2023, Shannon competed at her third Pan American Games, where she won the bronze medal in the women's 3-position small bore event, earning Canada a quota spot for the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. That is amazing. Oh my goodness, you've done so much.
That's quite the resume, and we're so excited to have you on, Shannon. Your name was mentioned in many circles, and I said, we need to have you on. So we pulled some strings. We got in contact with a few people that are mutual friends of ours, and we said, let's see if Shannon can come and join us. So thank you for coming on tonight as well.
Oh, no problem. I really am excited to be here, even though this is definitely more nerve-wracking than competing at an international event for me. So thanks.
It'll be fun. I think you'll be great. Yeah, you've had some exciting times recently, and you made time for us tonight too. So thank you so much for doing that. I know that you're trying to balance your competition. You just got back from the Pan American Games, and again, you're trying to balance your home life and work and everything, and you made time for us tonight. So again, thank you so much for coming on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get so interested in shooting? Like, I know that you joined cadets. Why did you join cadets, and how did you get down that road?
It's funny. I grew up in this little town, Keswick, Ontario. We didn't have a lot of money. and so and I was really interested in joining the military when I got older. So I had met somebody, a friend of mine, just randomly, and she told me about the cadet program. So I joined, and I was more interested in the drill and the outdoor things. And then all of a sudden, I heard about the shooting team. And anytime somebody asked me about the shooting sports and how I got involved, I never want to say anything other than the program itself, because that's exactly where the passion started, and I never want to forget my roots. So it really was me putting my mind to getting onto that team, and it wasn't really about my natural ability or anything, because I certainly have met way more people with that. I was told that I would never make the shooting team there, so I was pretty driven to work at it and make the teams. So I was that's where I really started to like it, but then was around people that really wanted to do well. So that's where I kind of engaged in learning about the skills and the technique and striving to be better, both like technically and mentally as well. But it was after leaving the cadet program that I realized I really wanted to continue shooting. So I mentioned this before, but I did use money that I had saved for university to buy my first gun. So I did continue to go to university. I have my degrees. I did finish, and I worked really hard, several jobs while I was in university so I could keep, but I really wanted to keep shooting, and full bore was really where my heart was at the time. So that's where I wanted to keep training for full bore during the winter months. And so I was in the military. I am in the military, and I was taking a course with somebody who told me about the SISM team. So that was part of the military shooting team, and I thought, well, if I can keep shooting during the winter, for SISM, then that's a great way to train for full bore. But you have to shoot 3 position in order to keep that up. So I was like, all right, I'll shoot kneeling and standing if it means that I can keep shooting during the winter. And then it kind of took over to the point where I have stopped shooting full bore and said I will get back to that in the future, because I really want to dedicate time to this Olympic style shooting stuff. So that's essentially where I'm at now.
That's really exciting to see the progression that you've made and the decision. I think from my perspective as a female, anytime that anybody tells me, well, you won't make the team, or you will not, you're not good enough, or it's a motivating factor. For me anyways, was that something that was a motivating factor for you?
Oh, absolutely. I've had that multiple times. I recall somebody coming up to me during one of the national matches and saying, "Oh, I don't see your name on the leaderboard. Why haven't you won anything?" And that just like lit a fire under me. And I won multiple matches right after that. I'll show you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So have you continuously shot since you were 12?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, other than, taking some time off after I left the cadet program to buy my own rifle, and then learn about, the costs associated with some of making your own ammo or buying it or whatever. I've pretty much shot all the time. And so it doesn't really matter what it is. It could be, and now it's small bore and air rifle is a priority, but certainly knowing that I'll continue to shoot until I really can't anymore.
Yeah. Well, why don't we talk about that just a little bit? You're talking about the expense of it, but small bore and air rifle, it's not as expensive as full bore. We know that. and reloading. So tell us, you talked about positional shooting. So three positions. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that specifically.
So yeah, that's pretty. It can be pretty intense and
Mhm.
hard on the body. We the kneeling position in particular is pretty challenging. It's not a natural position,
Mhm.
so it actually takes quite a bit of time to develop that ability to sit in on your heel for an hour at a time. I mean, there were times when I'm training and everything from my belly button down has fallen asleep, and I don't even know how
Yeah.
I'm going to get back up. But I like with the going back to your question about the costs associated with it. I mean, it's time that's developing that
Mhm.
skill set, the muscle memory, all of the techniques that are involved in using that. But procuring the equipment, yeah, it does get fairly expensive in the beginning, but you tend to use this equipment for quite a long time. So,
Yep.
For the kneeling and the prone positions, those are called sling positions.
Mhm.
So I have a sling that I use for both of those positions that just helps stabilize the position. I also use shooting pants and a shooting jacket
Mhm.
that are kind of like canvas materials that help provide a lot. Kind of stability because it has some rubber grip on the elbows and on the knees to help keep my
Mhm.
elbow in the spot on my knee when I'm in the kneeling position, or grip onto the mat when I'm in the prone position, which is laying on your belly. Um, and really to help my back and provide back support in the standing position, just because in the standing position it's not like the hunting or shotgun stances where it's very dynamic in a sense. We're torquing our body using our muscles, trying to reduce using muscles. So
Muscles,
we're
it's skeletal system.
twisting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using our skeletal system and turning our lumbar spine and utilizing our elbow onto our hip bone and trying to line everything up. So it's quite hard on the back and on the body.
Mhm.
So that the jacket and that provides some support. I also have shooting boots as well that are nice and flat on the soles, which are specific to the sport in order to maintain that nice flat surface to help with
Mhm.
balance, since the standing position is so unstable. It's not stable at all.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah, and it helps in the kneeling position as well, provide some ankle support,
Mhm.
because the kneeling position is quite similar. It's like taking prone and standing and finding the balance between the
Mhm.
two. So sitting on the back of the boot, which is very flat, helps just kind of stabilize the position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the same sort of equipment. We previously had Mary Patrick on,
Oh, of course.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So it's the same equipment that she uses when
Yeah.
she was doing small bore as well, or air rifle. But it it's equipment that you need when you're at that higher level. As so with three gun, when you went to the Pan American Games, which just took place, what disciplines were you shooting? Were you shooting the three position
I
small bore?
only shot I only shot three position small bore at this Pan Am Games. At the
Yeah.
last Pan Am Games, I shot air rifle as well. I'm not a strong air rifle shooter in comparison to others internationally. It tends to be a younger person game for people who are in their late teens to early 20s, and I'm no longer in my early 20s. So, um, and with the limited time that we have as Canadian shooters to put towards our event,
Yeah.
um, it's much more. It would be taking away from my ability to train in three position, which is my stronger event,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
So it was an active decision on my part not to spend more time in air rifle, because I wanted to really make a run for at doing well at the Pan Am Games instead of being mediocre, really.
Okay. Well, so when we're talking, let's go back just a little bit because I do want to follow up with the air rifle stuff. You were talking about the equipment that you use for the 3 position. So the jacket that you have, the pants, the boots, etc. What type of rifle do you have specific for the 3 position small bore? And then we'll get
love it.
Yeah, I know. We love talking about guns.
Yeah, sorry about all the other equipment stuff. This one here, I have a Walther KK 500 as my 22, and it's an amazing rifle. And it loves to shoot. It shoots pretty much every single lot of ammunition that I've thrown at it well. When we're testing ammunition with teammates and with other guns side by side, mine will take pretty much everything and shoot it all well, while other people have
rifles are finicky.
That they'll shoot well. So you know what, that gun pretty much out of the case, it comes with everything. So as far as a high performance gun, that actually came with the front sight, rear sight, a butt plate, a riser block for standing, a hand stop for kneeling and prone.
Okay.
So the only thing that I've really done to it above and beyond is I have 2 more butt plates. So I have 1 butt plate for each position, which makes changeovers a lot faster, especially considering that the finals, there's such a short period of time between each position. And I also changed the rear iris on there to have some color filters, and I also have like a colored ring on the back. So it's like a red ring on the back. So when I put my head on the cheek piece, it's easier to tell if I'm looking through the
doing the alignment.
Yeah.
So the rifle itself is fitted for you. So those butt plates specific to those positions so that you can have the proper eye relief, length of pull, etc. And it's easy to switch out. You were talking about the ammo. What works? What do you shoot competitively? What type of ammo?
In the past, I've shot Ely, but right now I'm shooting Center X, actually Lapua Center X. It seems to shoot better than Exact or even Midas Plus, which my pocketbook really appreciates. So
yes,
yeah.
So are you buying the ammo? You're not being...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this is part of a Canadian shooter's life. When you love something, you're gonna take the time and invest the money into it. So yeah, no, pretty much everything comes out of pocket. The ammo, the gun, the other equipment.
Yeah. There is sponsorship. I know we can talk about that a little bit later, but what about the sling? What do you use for a sling setup?
That's a cartoon sling that I use. And it's just a basic, simple sling. Like, it doesn't have any fancy, like, little minor tweaks on it. It's as basic as it comes.
Okay.
I throw the sling swivel on and tighten the array or loosen it, whatever.
Okay. And what distance are you shooting at? Is it 50 meters?
Yeah, it's 50 meters for 3 positions. So each 0.1 of a point is like a millimeter. So like from 10.0 to 10.1 would be a millimeter on the target.
Your groupings are pretty amazing. We should see if we can get some of your targets. Are you able to actually show us some of your targets? We can post them later. I'm wondering.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't usually. So actually, some of the questions that we get sometimes is the target obviously changes in between positions, right? Like they do in biathlon, because biathlon they have the pie plate for standing, which totally understandable. When I used to do biathlon, I did a little biathlon a little bit when I was a kid, and I liked the big pie plate. Now, but for each position, the target is the same size. The 10 is the same size in each position. So when you're looking at World those international scores where somebody shot a 596 out of 600, they're talking the same size bowl, and hold. So my groups in kneeling are about the same as my groups in prone now. But that has come with a lot of time and effort and practice, because it does not come easy.
Is it specifically, can you do another type of position, whether it's cross-legged or open leg position?
Okay, so I don't shoot anything other than kneeling. Like, I do see people shooting kneeling without a kneeling roll, so they'll actually like twist their foot and sit on their foot. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2018, I had an injury to my ankle. It was obviously you do not get injured shooting. You get injured doing something like doing another sport. So I tore 3 ligaments in my ankle playing volleyball. And I was told that I would never shoot kneeling again. Like, don't even bother trying. So I would never even attempt to shoot without a kneeling roll underneath my ankle for support. But there are people that literally just shoot on the side of their foot if they have the flexibility that way.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen people. I when I get down into the kneeling position, I can do that, and it adds more support because you are sitting across the whole entire foot. You have a wider surface. Yeah. Okay. I thought I'd throw that in because the positions that we the positions that we teach in our clinics, we add a variance to it, whether it's a cross-legged position or.
And we have
curious.
the rules that are specific to, everything. Like the sling cannot even really, you can't be touching the rifle at all. So you do need to have like some kind of clearance. And same with the pistol grip was usually what women have the issues with. The pistol grip is not allowed to touch your jacket in any way. So when I get my guns, usually I have to sand down the grip substantially so it's not touching.
I'm curious about that. Why do you think that it's specifically women? Is it because of our body check? You said it. I was
I don't have that big of a problem compared to other people, but no, that's it really. It's the
our shelf.
Yes, exactly.
Biological. We're blessed with some stability. Okay. Well, let's talk about air rifle then. So you were actually competing in air rifle as well, and 10 meters, correct?
Yes, 10 meters. Okay. Yeah, that 10 is like the size of a pin.
Yeah.
And that's only standing internationally, and you shoot 60 shots in a match. So that one, usually your foot starts to fall asleep before anything.
Is it timed? How much time do you have in that to fire off your 60 rounds?
Yeah, so we have 15 minutes for sighters. So usually get called to the line for 10 minutes before your sighters start for preparation, just to set up your gear, like your offhand stand and whatnot. And then you get 15 minutes for sighters. And then we get an hour and 15 for 60 shots in air rifle.
Wow.
Air rifle is, though, as far as if you really want to put a lot of time and effort into something and it not be as expensive to get into, air rifle's the way to go, because the guns are, a good one is not as expensive as a good 22, right? You can usually find them kind of secondhand, and ammunition is certainly much cheaper. So And to be able to just hop into one position and just focus on one position is pretty nice. Plus, I mean, if you get one that's shooting below 500 feet per second, you don't need a POW, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
So there's benefits that way.
Right. And you still, your equipment for your jacket, your pants, everything is the same as small bore, correct?
Yes, exactly. So
okay.
I don't have to go and buy duplicates of everything. I'll tell you though, I keep old suits to train in because they don't have as well after years of use. They're not as stable, so they don't have as much support in them. They like mine, I can do flips in it if I really wanted to. I'm not going to, but so I train in my old suits so that way I'm really focusing on technique, and I have to work harder to shoot good shots. And I keep my my good suits for competition.
For competition, it's a really good tip.
Yeah,
you're concentrating on technique when you're doing your practice, because practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect shooting.
Exactly.
Correct. Yeah. So, what is your setup for specifically for the air rifle? What do you have for equipment?
So I do have an LG. It's a Walter again, an LG 400. I have so I'm built like a T-Rex. Like I have these short little arms, and I have a really long neck. So I often struggle in the standing position to reach the trigger because I also have like tiny stubby fingers, so I am never going to play the piano well. Like I've just come to terms with my lack of ability to do some certain things, right? So I have to like cut off some of the butt plates, like the rails, right, in there in order to get it as short as possible, so that way I can actually reach the trigger without using my giant muscles to get in there and cause tension. So to try and get it as short as possible is what I had to do in both with my 22 and my air rifle.
Right.
Right now I'm using an on-shoots. I'm borrowing an on-shoots from my teammate Sharon Bowes. She's a former Olympian, multiple Olympian. She's lent me her on-shoots so that I can train with it, just because I can reach the trigger a little bit easier on her air rifle than I can on mine. So, but it's just little things that help.
Again, the air rifles you try to fit them specifically to you and the positions that you're going to be shooting in. That's why you said the butt plate has to be changed out.
Absolutely, yeah. So I used and those butt plates, we can't use a hook in air rifles, so those do look different. And the weight distribution on the rifle needs to be set up specifically for the individual, like the body type, everything. So I did. Mary Patrick used the rifle that I'm using right now before me, and just the way that it was set up, I noticed on the weekend that it was way too front heavy for me. So I had to adjust some of the weights that way. The big difference between 22 and the air rifle is that the air rifle is a lot lighter. But once you get the weight distribution set up for you, it's really nice to shoot. Like it can be a very like nice approach to the target and a great hold. But if without that balance point being right, it's not. It doesn't go as smoothly.
No.
So.
The rifles have to be configured for the individual shooter. So for you, it's going to be different than, as you said, Mary Patrick. The configuration specifically, but also the balance too.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing with your small bore.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you where you are practicing? Are you?
Holy cow! I'm all over the place. So I, during the summer months, so I have a workshop. And most of the time I spend on my scat or dry firing. So the scat shooting training system, I hook it up, and I've got 5 meters that I do this probably an hour, at least an hour a day. So And so my days actually are pretty crazy. I
Yeah.
wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I do my workout. I do my meditation, which is about 10 minutes. And then I start work at 7. I come home after 3 o'clock to home, and then I take the dog for a walk, and then greet my son, make lunches, go train for an hour, come back, make supper, and then spend time reading, usually like mental training books with my son for like a half an hour before going to bed. Redo that whole routine the next day. For live firing, I try to get out a couple times a week. So during the summer, I'll get out as many times as possible because I go to the Pan Am range in Cookstown, which is about 20 minutes from my place.
Okay, that's close.
Yeah, and then during the winter, and then during the summer months too, I like to go and train with other people that do my sport, because it's really nice to be able to train with like-minded people and people that have the same goals as you. So I'll drive to Kitchener. I shoot at Twin City. They're fantastic, supportive of us. So we that's about 2 hours from me. And I'm also a member of Pioneer Sportsman Club in Kitchener, which is about, again, an hour and 45 minutes away from me, but they're also highly supportive, and we have a core group of people there that train together. So it's worth the drive to be with people who are supportive, who have the same
goals, but they also, if you train with people who have a similar or even a higher level skill set, it'll also bring you up as well. That's what I found anyway.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. And it's so nice to be able to like bounce ideas off of one another. Greg Sitch and I are teammates, and we I was struggling last year with some motivation issues. So it was his idea that we meet on Wednesday nights and we do a virtual session. So we have our coach come in on video with us, and we have our cameras pointed to our screen, and we're sharing our scat traces with him, and we're able to work on things together and do things that we wouldn't do on our own. And I've found that that's made a huge difference for us, and for me in particular.
Yeah, we've had some people on the podcast that are part of the Shooting Federation, and we've talked about motivation and how we overcome barriers. And Chloe was one of them. Do you work with Chloe at all?
Oh yes, I work with Chloe. Chloe is phenomenal at what she does. I'm so lucky to work with her.
Yeah. So it's something we all face, is that motivation. Sometimes we just lose it, especially if we've been training hard and then all of a sudden maybe we've had a setback, or maybe life gets in the way. I think it's how do I say this, where it's good to hear that even our elite athletes, those that are going to be going to the Olympics, also face that too, but there's ways around it.
Absolutely. And my coach and I just had this talk the other day about taking breaks, because I sent him my training plan for next year. I only took a week and a half off after the Pan Am Games because I was itching to get back into it, and I know that I have to work hard for next year. And I had a feeling that he would notice what I did in my training plan, and I did not put a lot of breaks in there. It was and we've talked, like, I'm going to forcefully take 3 weeks off during the Christmas holidays, just to recover essentially, and try and reduce the injury, or help with that motivation piece, because sometimes when you take that break, it's easier to come back.
It is. So when I asked about where you're currently training, your training plan, your regiment, you've already talked about, how hectic your days are, because you're somebody who works, you're a mom as well, and then you have to get in your practice so that you can, like, you're you've got a spot in the 2024 Olympics. You have to practice for it. You've just talked about your training plan. Holy crap.
Yeah.
You're so busy. How do you balance it? How are you balancing it?
I don't know, sheer determination. Because it's about my. I try and listen to my body too, right? Like I need to. Um, if I'm not feeling right one day, I'll have to readjust that day, and being flexible with everything that we're doing. So I
Yeah.
have my plan set for the week, and I plan on dry firing on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then going to the range on Saturday and Sunday. And maybe one of those days it's not going to work. So I can see that coming, and I'll readjust to try and get something in on Tuesday, let's say, and then take Friday off, so that way I can watch a movie with my family. Because as much as athletes are the people that sacrifice a lot, I think it's my family that sacrifices the most, because these are my goals, they're not theirs. And something that athletes often struggle with, that I've talked to Chloe about this on a number of occasions, it's a struggle to think that your self-worth is all in your sport, and that your family will not be proud of you if you don't do well. And I can say that when I won a medal at the Pan Am Games, I was surprised that my son was excited for me, because I thought he would brush it off, because it doesn't matter. I certainly know that if I came back last, my dog would be just as excited to see me than if I came in first, right? So that's a struggling point for me, is to kind of balance that aspect of, there's other people here that are sacrificing more than I am. I'm really lucky to have them in my life, though. So
it sounds like your son is super proud of his mom, though.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes
it depends. Yes, exactly. He rolls his eyes at me. So any math problem, he questions my ability to solve the math problem. But I'm surrounded by geniuses. So my husband has a math degree. My father-in-law has a math degree and was a high school math teacher for years. So when I'm come into, the question, mom has 3 degrees, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to have anything to say, because I don't have a math degree. Okay. He's so funny. Rolls his eyes at me all the time.
But you help him with his math homework.
Oh, well, try.
The new math. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the Shooting Federation of Canada? How did you come to shoot for them? Because you are representing Canada.
Yeah, that's right. I started shooting CISM, and then I decided to shoot CISM. One of our selection matches was to shoot the nationals. So I went from shooting 3 position at my local club to signing up and registering to shoot at the nationals. And so part of that was becoming a member of the Shooting Federation of Canada. It really wasn't overly difficult. It was finding local matches. That was probably once you get to know people and you introduce yourself to the people that compete in that, it's much easier to continue, as then it's word of mouth. You know what's happening, other local matches or provincial matches or national matches that are popping up. And then you can discuss with people about the selection process to get on the team and understand all those little hula hoops.
So there is some questions about that. I know that we're going to come back and give people the opportunity to ask questions. They're asking, how did you get on the team? And maybe, so you can, let's come back and loop those people in. So I think Maria specifically has been asking questions about it, but I did want to talk to you again. You have such an extensive career with shooting, but your most recent Pan Am Games, do you want to give us a little summary of again how you did? Because I know that you took home some medals, and what was it like?
All week I was very, very, like the last several months, I've been really working hard. Improving my mental game was the most challenge. It was the thing that I've been working on the most actually for the last year. Because when you get to that level, everybody really has the same skill level. You got to put aside the fact that you're competing against people who are full-time athletes and just go out and try and do your best. Now, I was quite sick on the day of my match, so I didn't have my greatest match that day. But I had a good enough match to get into the final. So I did shoot like my low average. And so that was good enough to get in the final, which made me happy. That was, a goal. And leading up to the Pan Am Games, I had been really focusing and training specifically in finals timings because they are very different. In a match, you get a block time of an hour and a half to shoot all three positions. You can change over to sighters whenever you want. You can shoot as many sighters as you want before you go on score into the next position, as long as you do it all in an hour and a half. But in the finals, you have very specific timings to get your shots off and to get good shots off. And while reading the wind, while reading the light conditions, and to know that this is usually later on in the day when the wind conditions are at the height of their max and everything else that's going on around you. They highly encourage cheering at these events as well now. Music's playing, and then of course you have the announcers who are telling you exactly what's going on. Plus they put screens immediately in front of you so you can see exactly where you are in your rankings. So they have computer screen, and exactly, if you're looking at it, exactly where you are. So you have 5 minutes to shoot sighters, like to prep for preparation to get into position and to get centered on the target. You have 5 minutes, and then for each 5-shot group in the kneeling position, there's 3. You have 3 minutes and 20 seconds to shoot 5 shots, which is a lot of time unless all things are not going well. Then you have 7 minutes to change over between kneeling and prone. So that's from everybody has to be in the exact same spot. So you're not allowed to start changing your gun over until they say start. You're not allowed to get up from position or unhook your sling, nothing. So you go back because all of your stuff has to be in the bin, and you have to change over your sights, your butt plates, everything, and move your stand, put your prone mat down, and then you have and then as soon as that 7 minutes is up, you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to shoot 5 shots, 3 series of 5 shots in the prone position. During that time, I did notice that I was leading for a good chunk of it. I didn't really care that much. I was just going through with emotions, and this was my plan, and I was shooting well, so I was happy with it. And I didn't actually shoot that great in prone in the final, but that's besides the point. Then after prone is over, same thing. You have to wait until they say start. You have 9 minutes to change over from prone to standing. So remove the mat, put all your stuff in the bin, change over, get in position, and start sighters. And then there's 2 rounds of 5 shots, and you have 4 minutes and 10 seconds to shoot your 5-shot group, your 5-shot series. My balance was off that day, and I did not use my time effectively. In my first series, I still had like over 2 minutes left after I finished my 5 shots, but that's how it goes, and you learn from those things and you move on. So so I took that time to actually do some holding exercises. You're not allowed to dry fire in the finals, so all you can do is just do some holding exercises. And then after those 2 series are over, that's when they get rid of 7 and 8. and they start single shots. So after every single shot, then they get rid of somebody. When they got to us, my standing wasn't that great, so I didn't realize exactly where we were, but they said, this next shot will determine the Olympic quota spot. And currently Westlake is only leading the girl from Puerto Rico by 0.1 of a point. So that's a millimeter at 50 meters. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So this is good. So when they said load, I essentially told myself, just approach the target straight and take the shot on your first attempt. I know that my first attempt is typically my best attempt. So, don't overthink it and just enjoy the moment. Like, no matter what happens, just know that you shot well today. So I took the shot, and I'm pretty sure I broke it before the girl from Puerto Rico. And I knew it was a good shot. So I was very happy. But then I looked down at the screen and saw that it was a 10.9. So I was even more happy because I knew that there was no way that she could beat me. She couldn't even tie me. Like it was a dead perfect 10.9. I was ecstatic. So all I did was look back at my team with a big smile, and they just erupted and cheered. So that was fantastic to be able to share the moment with them. And so that's how that ended, really. It was pretty awesome.
That was congratulations. I think there's a shot of you looking back and smiling in all the newspapers. And that was the moment that you realized that you secured a spot for the Olympics. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what does it mean for 2024? It means you're going to the Olympics.
Well, actually, it means that I won an Olympic quota spot for Canada. Right. So shooting is not like boxing or anything like that. You don't win it for yourself. So I still have to work hard to make sure that I earn that spot back. Some of the other internal things to make the 2024 team to Paris is that you have to be announced and on the 2024 team. So I know that that's part of some of the questions. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead with that, because it is a little tricky too, especially with shooting.
Yeah.
And
then other ISSF requirements as well are that you have to have competed in 2 championships leading up to it. So I've got that, the CAT Games and the Pan American Games. And so because you have to compete at least 2, and you also have to have at least 1 QROG point, which is 1 qualifying point to be able to be eligible to shoot at those games. So there's things that need to fall into place, right? For Canada to announce who takes that spot. So as far as making the team, it does change every year how to make the team, and it hasn't really been announced for next year's team how to do that yet. So there's like the identified team, there's development team, and there's the national team, and all of the documentation is on the SFC website. Sometimes it's a little bit more challenging to get through all of that documentation. So what we've had to do in the past is identify a match and a match that meets certain parameters. So there's at least 10 targets on the firing line. If you're trying to make the identified team, it doesn't have to be electronic targets, but if you're trying to make the national team, then it has to be on electronic targets. And then there needs to be, somebody who's qualified to run an ISSF match. So typically the ones that we have, we know which ones they are. So the matches that they run in the States, like the US, they tend to have all those ticks in the box. And And so you know that, you plan it out, say you need to submit a cut score form saying that you're going to use that match a minimum of 30 days in advance. And you have I think it's 6 opportunities. So you can pick 6 matches throughout the year to that you're going to submit a score for, and you submit that 30 days in advance. And then after you've done your match, you resubmit with the score and the link to where to find the score.
Okay.
And to make the national team this year, it was a ranking amongst all of the athletes in every discipline, like skeet, trap, pistol rifle, air rifle, and 3P. Like they're all mixed based on the international score that they're looking for you to make the national team. So for my event to make the national team, it was a 585. And so then they would throw my score in there and divide it by that, and you would get a percentage. So, and that's how they rank all of us. So there's a bunch of stuff in there. So if you didn't identify one of your best events in advance and you didn't get to use it, that's, that kind of sucks. It happened to me. It happened to me. No. So, it's okay. I'm like the 2024 team hasn't been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the list. So.
I'm hoping.
Well, the ranking list is actually open on the SFC site, so you can go and actually look to see where everybody's ranked, like comparatively to each other. So it is transparent that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds complicated, but also.
Yeah, it can be. So looking forward to next year.
Okay. You did talk about your mental management, something that you've been working on, and you said that you've been reading books. Can you tell us about those books and whatever other methods that you've been using to help with your mental management?
Yes. So I did mention that I do my meditation every day. I use the Headspace app. I'm not going to do that all on my own, because it's really nice to have somebody help me out when I'm doing all the other things, right? So they have that app has a bunch of competition specific courses, and you do those, follow along, and it just becomes part of your routine. And it's a really nice part of your day, really, where you can just focus on you and really not do much. I just finished reading Terry Orlick. Yes. That one. One of my favorites is Grit by a woman. That's great. It's really all about developing grit. I want to say Duckworth, but I can't remember. Maybe somebody can tell us in the chat.
Stacey, can you look it up over?
That book I thought was fantastic. It's not an overly challenging read. It's a nice read, but I would read it. It's talking about developing grit and people that you work with, working on developing your own grit.
There you go.
Yeah, and then also Angela Duckworth. Thank you. And then I also enjoy reading like other books that athletes have, biographies, like Andre Agassi. I probably say butcher his name. I'm really bad at that.
No, you got it.
Open, and so those are all the ones that I've kind of look at, because they're all building towards the same kind of thing. There's but interesting and helpful at the same time. So
okay. I know that we're getting a little long, so I'm going to turn it over to Casey here in just a second. But you're a female shooter. What recommendations do you have for women who want to get involved in shooting, who want to start shooting? Because you're a 12-year-old you started there. So what recommendations do you have for anybody who's interested in getting into shooting? And then we'll talk about more at the elite level.
Yeah, no problem. I've been on the range as one of the only female shooters. It happens a lot, and I'm okay with it now because I enjoy it so much. And my favorite part is, like, I don't know, beating people, I guess, sometimes. No, the thing that I do suggest is to find if what you want to do, and that comes with trying some, like the Ontario Rifle Association has intro days, or you know, on the some of the clubs around here on I can't remember what day it is. I should know these things. They have open shoots at their local club where people can come out and try different events. And I would highly suggest just going out and trying it, because you never know what's going to stick. And even it doesn't matter if you're a woman or man. Everybody seems to be on the same page when it comes to the shooting sports. Helpful and just there to enjoy the sport together, really.
What about people? So you shoot a lot with men. You shoot same competitions with men, I believe, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so men shoot the exact same. It used to be different. It used to be men shot 3x40 and women shot 3x20. Then they switched it. We all shot 3x40. When they removed prone out of the Olympics, then it was just, we were all shot prone together. There was no men's and women's prone. It was open.
Level playing field.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same in fullbore. Like, there's no men's and women's, you know, whatever. So I'm fine with it, because we all have the same skill set. We all have the same look at it. I mean, right now, if you look at the world records for women's shooting in air rifle and three position, I'm pretty sure that the women's scores are higher.
They are. Funny enough.
Yeah. But on any, like, if we're all shooting shoulder to shoulder, we're in the same conditions, same prep, same everything. So it doesn't really matter to me. I think it's good competition. So
okay. I do too.
Yeah. So
let's talk about how we as Canadians can help support you. How can we help support you as somebody who shoots who represents Canada? You've talked about the fact that you buy your own ammo and you buy a lot of your equipment as well. So how can we support you?
I want everybody to come out and start shooting my events with me. I really do. I do. I want more people shooting Olympic style events. I think it would be great for the sport, for shooting sports in general, for people to see what a fantastic and open sport it is. I mean, I've been shooting for a while, and anybody can do it. I mean, I have seen tons of people with oodles of talent come and go. But if you put the work into it, then anybody can be a good shooter.
Yep.
I've also seen, and it's the Paralympics as well. Like, the amount of work that they put into it, I'm so proud of our Paralympic shooters.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know what, they are skilled and they have the ability to shoot just as well as we do. I've been on the range with a man who was a quadriplegic, had a rifle set up for him so that he could blow into it and shoot. And he had somebody load for him and change his sights. So he told them what to change the sights to. But it was inclusive. And you know, anybody can do it now, right? So unlike some other sports that are not as inclusive, I think it's exactly adaptive. Adaptive shooting is fantastic.
So on that note, we currently have some athletes who are shooting out as part of the Pan Am Games.
Starts on Friday.
Yeah. Just went over. So good luck to them. Why don't is there? I'm going to turn it over here to Casey. There's a bunch of people who've asked questions, but is there anybody that you wanted to actually just give a little shout out to, people who are maybe mentors or people that have supported you during your shooting career?
I would never want to do that because I would end up missing somebody that's really important, because there are so many people. You can't do it on your own. I've had so many coaches, mentors, people who have just been there for me, that are still there for me, that maybe I don't speak to very often because, well, as in my predicament, you do not have any friends anymore unless you see me at the range. Like that's my life. So anybody, even the people that I don't know who are my supporters, I'm happy to have them. Anybody who's willing to be positive influence on shooting sports, they're my heroes. So.
Oh. Well, why don't we give a shout out to your son?
Oh yes, he's my favorite person in the whole wide world. Okay, yeah, and my husband, of course. So I can't forget him. So
okay, so let's turn it over to Casey. There's a lot of questions people have been asking, and Casey's been monitoring our comments. So there are people who've asked some of those questions. So I've kind of steered away from those specific questions that instead of during the podcast there. Anyways, Casey.
Thank you, Kelly. So our first question is from Maria, and she's asking how someone can get into the Pan Am Games.
So the first thing actually is to start performing or shooting high performance type of shooting. So getting your foot in the door to do that. In order to get to the Pan Am Games, we actually have to earn quota spots at matches prior to. So I won our Pan Am quota spot at the Championship of the Americas last year. And in order to get selected to go to the Championship of the Americas, we needed to be on the high performance team. So So first step is to start shooting high performance style, coming out to our matches, and then learning the ropes and working with us to get identified on the high performance team. And then from there we can work towards getting the quota spots for Pan Am Games and then going there.
Cool. Okay, and a follow-up question to that is how someone can get on Team Canada, especially for 3 position.
It's fairly similar. Starting to shoot 3 position, with slings. One of the events is sporting rifle that has turned people over to 3 position shooting, which is essentially 3 position shooting without a sling. So not as high tech of a rifle. But the other one too, that we don't do much in Canada, but it seems to be somewhat popular in the US, is just 3 position shooting with an air rifle as well, to practice it and to see if it's something that you enjoy or something that you like before you invest in 22 and that range time.
Yeah. If anybody's interested, Slamfire Radio, which is an excellent podcast, by the way, if you want to listen to some information about sporting rifles, we recently had Jay Bazell on to talk about sporting rifles and how to get into it and taking it to the next level so we can transition into what Shin's doing currently. So go and listen to that episode. I had to give myself give Slamfire a selfless plug.
Yeah. Shameless plug right there.
That's it. Shameless. Oh, well, no, I'm not shameless.
So the next question is also from Maria, and it looks like, what other sports or workouts do you cross train with?
So my workout regime is more like a 4 or 5 day split depending on it. So I'll do like an upper body and a lower body day is typically how that works, with like a active recovery. Sometimes that active recovery is listening to my body and telling it to sleep. But during the winter months, I do quite a bit of cross-country skiing. I got my son involved. I can't even say that he enjoyed it. It was because I forced him into it, really. So while he's doing his lesson, I go ski. So that's part of my my workout routine.
Okay. All right. And the next one is from Doug, and he was a little late to the podcast, so he just wanted to know what you're shooting your 3-position competitions with.
Ah, yes. I use a KK 500 22, so it's a single shot action, bolt action, and I love it.
Yeah.
I think we all say that. It's like nice.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
And then I think the last question we have is from 1AB, and wanted to know, how much has it cost you out of pocket to reach the level you're at? And do you seek sponsors outside of the shooting industry?
So the second part, no, I do not seek sponsorship. I have had Canada card in the past, which is supports a little bit, and I've had Quest for Gold funding a little bit over the years, so that has helped as much. Let me see. I don't like talking about the money part because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still going to fork out the money because I enjoy it so much. It's my it's passion, right? I don't like to use that term loosely. So I have my gun, which $7,000 out of the box, but then you add all the additional pieces that I've added to it. I've changed out the mechanical trigger for an electronic trigger, added butt plates. You know, so you're talking $10,000 for my rifle. That's just the 22. You're talking a couple of grand for my air rifle. You're talking $1,500 for a suit that you replace every few years. Almost like over $300 for a pair of boots. The prone mat that I use, you can get much cheaper versions. Okay, so like what I have, like $300 for an off-hand stand. $300 for my prone mat because I really love my cartoon prone mat. It's very wonderful. And I have my own electronic target, a Megalink, because without it, I wouldn't train. I would not have improved as well. So, and I can use that for indoor 20 yards. I can use it for 10 meters, and I can use it for 50 meters. So that's, $3,000 there, over that probably. And I have the SCAT trainer, which is, a couple grand as well. So, but that has also been a really integral part of my training, because on the computer screen, I can see my approach, I can see my follow through, I can see my holds, and it's made a world of difference in that. And I didn't add that up.
And you did indicate that it's ammo costs.
Oh, right. I didn't even mention that.
Ongoing investment right there.
But the biggest investment is your time and energy. That's it. Right.
Cool.
Okay.
So that's all for the questions.
Well. Okay, so why don't we turn it over to Regina?
Yay, so we're gonna get some prizes now. Did we get Shannon's social medias?
No, we didn't. But why don't we give away some prizes and then we'll catch up.
And then we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Shannon a big thank you.
So Casey, let's go ahead and do the t-shirt.
Okay, I gotta count. Hold on a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. While she's doing that, Shannon, if people have questions or if they want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you? They get a hold of you through the Shooting Federation? Send an email to you there, or do you have social media?
That's a great question. I do have social media, but I don't. I let me see. Like I have Twitter, but that was more for like when I was doing my master's of education. That was. I don't really. I have LinkedIn, but that's more of a work thing. I don't really have a sport like piece, so you can message me on Facebook because it's not like I have a pseudonym on there. It's pretty easy. It's my face and my son there. So I guess that's a good way to do it. Yeah, I have Instagram, but I'm not active on that very much either. So I'm not great at this whole social media thing.
Okay, not all of us are. All right, so I have my names now. We're all ready.
Okay, you good?
So
Perfect.
yes, for the She Shoots T-shirt, we have Maria.
Awesome.
Yay. Congratulations.
So,
Okay.
but Maria's been commenting. She's on YouTube. So
Yeah.
Yes.
And since you're on YouTube, I will have to get you to contact me at casey@ladyguns.ca because YouTube does not have the function that allows me to speak to you on YouTube. So, okay. So the next one is the CUSIP prize pack, and that is Kathy Wolf.
woo.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
And I have your email already, so we'll get
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Kathy's going to be our next guest. Okay.
All right, and finally, we have the Canada First prize pack, and that goes to 1AB.
Well, 1AB says, if you pick my name for a prize, can you please give it to Shannon's son?
Oh, we can do that.
Well, there you go.
Which is pretty awesome.
Perfect.
That's a few more lines down. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I didn't even see it until you mentioned it, Kelly.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
right.
Well, congratulations to all our winners. And hopefully you all enjoy them. So with that, let's move on to our upcoming events. So December is the month of giving, and the CUSF is doing a Christmas giveaway. Rules are very simple. $1 donated means one entry. So the more you donate, the more entries you will have into the giveaway. Contest runs from November 13th, so start yesterday, and it runs all the way to December 15th, and the winner will be drawn on December 15th. Winner will get tons of cool prizes, including as a prize firearm. I don't even know what it is myself, and it's all courtesy to Stoker Canada. So thank you so much, Stoker, for your prizes for the giveaway. If you want to donate and participate in the Christmas giveaway, you can go to cusf.ca to donate. Or if you're on Instagram and you follow the Canadian University Shooting Federation Instagram page, the link will be on the bio as well. So best of luck, and thank you for anyone who donates. Also, we're always looking for volunteers at the CUSF. If you're interested in volunteering, send us an email at submissions@cusf.ca. And also, if you're a university student that would be interested in creating their own university club, another one. Apparently, I can't talk today. Also, send us an email at submissions@cusf.ca, and we'll get a club set up at your university. So that's enough for me today, apparently. Kelly.
So Project Maple Seed, our events for 2023 are complete. So currently right now we are planning our 2024 season. If you do want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at info@mapleseedrifleman.com. If your club is interested in hosting an event, again, we're regionally run, so all across all across Ontario, all across the country, just reach out to us and we'll put you in contact with the coordinators in the various provinces. But Ontario, we're going to be having winter seeds coming up soon. So there's a couple of ranges. One that's out, I think one that Shannon mentioned just tonight in Hamilton, Kitchener, that's interested in shooting in January outside, 3 positional shooting, sitting on the ground.
Oh.
So we're going to be doing winter states. We have special patches for that as well. So only a few people have gotten them so far.
Frosty fingers.
Put us in contact or get in contact with us and we'll let you know what's going to be happening. Go to mapleseedrifleman.com. You can look at the website for any upcoming events. 2024, obviously, we're going to have QSIF events in the various regions too. So if you are a QSIF member, please watch out for those. Okay. And yeah, that's it. What about Lady Guns? Casey, do you want to let us in on what's happening with that?
We don't have anything going on right now, but Deneen has finally gotten clearance from the doctor. She's allowed to shoot again.
Woohoo! That's awesome.
So as she works her way back up, she'll probably be accepting or doing a little bit more in the shooting community now that she's actually allowed to shoot again.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much again, Shannon, for joining us today. Best of luck. Definitely would love to see you shoot in the Olympics. So with that, I'd like to thank again Cabela's Canada Outdoor Fund, Savage Arms, Breda, Vortex, and Canada First Ammo. If you like today's episode, please leave us a like and follow so you don't miss out on any of our episodes. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. If you liked our message and would like to learn more about our programs, check out our websites at cusf.ca, ladyguns.ca, and mapleseedrifleman.com. To support us and get some additional perks, check out our membership programs. Thank you all for tuning into the She Shoot Podcast, episode 22, Shooting Straight to the Olympics. Make sure to join us on December 12th for episode 23 at our regular time, where we will be talking to Kathy Wolf, as Kelly mentioned previously. So make sure to keep an eye on our social media so you can see the official announcement for the next episode. So thank you all and have a good night.
Good night, everyone.